So the whole idea when you hear cloud computing is not like it's something that exists in the cloud. No, these are data centers. These are data centers like what companies used to have. These are servers like what companies used to have. But the concept now is companies who prefer to rent from other companies who have a lot of money and are ready to manage the wahala, the challenges that comes with servers and data centers. So the new approach is called cloud computing. So there are many companies that have these data centers, these servers that they are renting. So now companies no longer own these data centers and servers. They go to these companies and rent. It makes life very easy. Some examples of these companies are Amazon Web Services. It is called AWS. Another example is Microsoft Azure. Another example is IBM. Another example is Alibaba. Another example is Google Cloud. There are many. But at least we know this name, Microsoft. Because some of us were raised in Africa, right? It's only when we started traveling out of the country that we realized that Windows is not a computer. And some of you will still be shocked to know that Windows is not a computer, because we knew Windows is a computer, right? Whereas Windows is an operating system. So the company that has the operating system called Windows is Microsoft. So at least we know Microsoft. At least we know IBM, International Business Machine. That's the meaning of IBM. They were one of the first companies that started producing computers. We're going to see IBM when we'll be on the origin of communication, computer communication. So IBM has data centers and renting servers. Another name we cannot underlook is Google. Right? In IT, they have covered the landscape. There is nothing we can do in the internet, especially regarding without coming across Google, right? They are a powerhouse in information technology industry. So these are some of examples. However, Amazon is not very much into the IT industry, but they too have a data center and they are renting servers. And guess what? They are the largest. They are dominating the market. They are dominating the market in this new approach where companies have built data centers and renting servers. So the majority of companies now, they say, all right, no, I stop having my own servers and data center. I will rent from these companies. And because we cannot study all of these companies, the beauty is that if you understand one of these companies, they all are almost the same. They all are almost the same. So because we cannot study all of these companies, we're going to pick one that is extremely important. Not like more important than the others, but it is more demanded in the market. When you see most of the job descriptions, they will ask you if you have experience in this company that we're going to select. And the winner is Amazon Web Services, AWS. It leads us to module 4. So we're going to spend time studying AWS. We said they have replaced companies managing their servers and data centers. Now we want to understand how. How are they doing it? What are the services they're offering? So we'll zoom into Amazon Web Services, AWS, and understand everything. The data centers they have built, where have they built these data centers, and the servers that they have built, what are the services that they are offering? They are offering more than 250 services. We cannot study the 250 services. We're going to focus on about 20, 25, 30 services that we'll be using in our day-to-day lives. We're going to study about 20, 25, 30 services that every company that want to hire you would like to know if you have used these services. So that is cloud computing and a case study. Now, this is the second IT profession that you are putting under your belt. This is called cloud engineer. So here you are a network engineer, and here you are a cloud engineer. You are also a system administrator. These are all IT professions, right? System administrator. So when you gain all of this knowledge, we are not saying you are an expert in this or you are expert in this, but you have an idea. You have an idea. You jump into an interview for a network engineer, a cloud engineer, system administrator engineer, you won't be dumbfounded. You just need little effort to become experts. The reasons being, we are not spending all of our time here. We are not spending all of our time here. We're not spending all of our focus is on DevOps. But however, you will have a very good foundation in all of this. Now, Module 5 is Linux fundamentals. Some of us are hearing this for the very first time. Remember I said, growing up in Africa, in Guti, we knew computer, the name of a computer is Windows. That's how we normally say computer name are Windows. Half your Windows computer, so we knew computer is Windows. Whereas Windows is an operating system. What is the meaning of operating system? An operating system is like the brain of a computer. Is the brain, is the heart of a computer. We're going to see it. So a computer is just a box, and it needs a brain to function. It's like you, like us humans. We have the flesh, it's just the flesh. You have the flesh and the spirit. Computers are just empty boxes. You need to put a brain in them for them to work, to operate. That's why it's called operating system. Which system is your computer operating on? Then you say my computer is operating on or using Windows. Windows is an operating system manufactured by Microsoft. There are many other operating systems, but in Africa, we know only Windows. And some of us know Mac OS. But the most popular brain of computers or servers is called Linux. Linux, like Linux, like Linux. It is the most important, they are all important, the most important and popular brain of a server, of a computer, is called Linux. Any question? Linux is extremely important. Almost every server, because let me remind you, for those who are just joining, one of your best friends or your best friend moving forward is going to be a server. You're going to spend all your life on servers. Breaking, you go the Chakara server, then Chakara, and then you rebuild them. Trust me, others are already doing it. If you are new, know you can do it. You pieces servers and you rebuild the server. Servers will become, moving forward, are your best friend. So the brain that runs on most of the servers that you will be working with, it is not Windows. It is not Mac OS. It is Linux. So how will you work with a critical component of server without knowing the technology? That leads us to Module 5. Linux fundamentals. What does that mean? We don't want to become experts in Linux. We want to understand what we need to know to start working with Linux. The rest of it, we're going to grow in it. That's going to be Module 5. We want to understand the fundamentals. How do we start working with something that we don't know? We are used to Windows. Windows has what is called graphical user interface. Graphical user interface. This is what is called graphical user interface. What you are seeing on my screen is graphical user interface, where you see writings, you see pictures, whatever. If I want to go, if there's something I'm looking for, I'll go to my computer. This is my computer. I'll go to my computer and I'll start looking. Oh, okay, it's under downloads. I'll go to download search. Oh no, it's not under downloads. It's under a document. You see everything. You see icons. You see writings. This is what we were raised. This is what we know. This is what I have seen in Gucci. Now, Ekangaki, you're telling me that you want to introduce something different. My question is it the same like this Windows where I see icons, I can easily navigate to this, I can click? Ekangaki says no. Linux is completely different from Windows. With Linux, Africans hate them. Africans no one catch Linux. They say it's so difficult. And they are correct. Why is it difficult? Because we've never known it. They said to we don't know a dark past night. We've never known Windows, Linux, and it's, no, Africa say, I know ASEAN. So, how is Windows or Linux different from Windows? Let me show you guys. This is Windows. This is Linux, sorry. This is how Linux look like. Everything that we are seeing in Windows, where we see icons, we see writings, you can go, is it, you are, no, in Linux, you see but a black dashboard. You see but a black dashboard. So everything that we are seeing in Windows, that we are doing in, you can do the same here. You can do the same here, but nothing. How will you navigate? If it is Windows, you go to a computer, you see all of this. So in that black screen, how do you go about? How do you go about seeing everything like a Windows? This black screen is called a terminal. It is called a terminal. It is called a command line interface. Command line interface, aka CLI. This is how we communicate in Linux. In Linux, we are using a command line interface. So if we have a computer like my computer, which I said servers are also like computers, you don't access it from this graphical user interface. Everything is done from this black screen. Now, why do Africans think it is difficult? Is because they have never seen it before. That's why they think it is difficult. But the truth is, it is not difficult. It is easier. It is easier than Windows. It is easier than Windows. So, Module 5, we're going to spend some little time to understand how we can navigate with this new technology, right? How we can navigate with this new technology. So we're going to see what is called Linux fundamentals.